Good morning, students. We were doing introduction of class 11th microeconomics, and we had done till now what is economy, what do you mean by economics, what is why are we studying economics, and today we are going to study the two branches of economics. Now, economics can be categorized into two branches. The first branch is microeconomics, and the second branch is macroeconomics. So we broadly classify our economics into two branches, microeconomics and macroeconomics. Now, first of all, starting with microeconomics. Now, if in general term we say micro means small. In a simple term, micro means small, and therefore microeconomics is that economics in which we study an individual. In microeconomics, we study an individual. This individual can be the individual person, it can be individual firm, or a small group. Like, for example, individual income, individual output, that is termed as in microeconomics. Then coming to the next, second branch of economics, which is macroeconomics. And the macroeconomics, in macroeconomics, the term macro means large. And therefore, we define macroeconomics as study of economy as whole. Now, when we are saying economy as whole, that means the entire economy, whether it's of India, it's of America, or whatever nation's economy is taken up as one economy, and that is your one economy, taking economy as a whole. So that is your macroeconomic. Let's study after this the difference between micro and macroeconomics. We have basis of difference, we have microeconomics, and we have macroeconomics. The first basis of difference is definition. Now, when we define microeconomics is defined as study of an individual, whereas macroeconomics is defined as study of an economy as whole. So this is the first difference between micro and macroeconomics. The second difference between micro and macroeconomics is of its tools. Now, the tools used in microeconomics are individual demand and supply, whereas the tools used in macroeconomics are aggregate demand and aggregate supply. If we see the objective of these two, the objective of microeconomics is price determination of commodity, whereas if we see the objective of macroeconomics, then here the objective is to determine level of income and employment. Now, if we talk about assumptions, then the assumptions used in microeconomics is, while studying microeconomics, your macro concepts are constant, whereas while studying macroeconomics, all your micro factors, or you can say micro concepts, are constant. That means if we are studying microeconomics, we will consider that all the macro factors are constant, and when we are studying macroeconomics, we assume that all other micro factors are constant. Difference, that is alternative name. Microeconomics is also referred to as price theory, whereas macroeconomics is also termed as income and employment theory. Then let's see some examples of micro and macroeconomics. If we are seeing example of microeconomics, then it can be individual income, individual output, whereas when we see the examples of macroeconomics, it can be national income and national output. So these were the differences between microeconomics and macroeconomics. That is central problems of economy. Now, every economy we have seen that faces the problem of scarcity, and therefore there are few common problems which are seen in every economy. These problems are referred to as central problems of economy. These are related to your allocation of resources. There are three central problems of economy. The first central problem says what to produce. What to produce. Now, when this question arises, what to produce, it deals with two things. The first one is what type of good to be produced. We can produce consumer goods. We can produce consumer goods or capital goods. We can make choices between war goods or civil goods. Like, for example, if we talk about war goods, then we can produce guns, tanks, etc. And if we say civil goods, then we can produce bread, butter, etc. In consumer goods, we can either produce any consumer good you can take which the consumer is producing, like, for example, soap, shampoo, etc. And the capital good, like, for example, machinery. We have to make choices what type of good we should produce. Once we decide what type of good to be produced, after this, in the same what to produce, we have to decide in what quantity these goods are to be produced. Now, once we have decided whether we have to produce consumer good or capital good. Suppose, for example, I am the producer and I want to decide, and I have decided to produce consumer good. Now, once I have decided I want to produce consumer good, the next question which I'll have to answer in the same problem is, what quantity of the selected consumer good should I produce? This is the first central problem, that is what to produce. The next central problem of the economy, that is how to produce. Now, when we talk about how to produce, it deals with choice of technique. Now, when we are saying choice of technique, that means we have to choose among the available technology whether which technology should we use to produce the goods and services. Now, we have to make choice among the technology. We have two types of technology. We have labor-intensive technique. Now, this labor-intensive technique means making more use of labor and less machinery, whereas the other option which is available in choice of technique is capital intensive technique. Capital intensive technique, in which we say more use of machinery and less capital. Now, while deciding the technology, we have to keep in mind our guiding principle. And our guiding principle is that technology should be used which will minimize my cost of production and maximize my profit. So this was about how to produce. It deals with choice of technique. I am available with two techniques. One is labor intensive technique and the other one is capital intensive technique. And while making the choice of technique, I will keep in mind the guiding principle which says that technology should be used which is going to minimize the cost of production and maximize the profit. The next central problem we have is for whom to produce. Now in this, we have to decide who our end consumers are, and therefore it deals with distribution of income and factor distribution. It deals with income distribution and factor distribution. Now, when we talk about income distribution, then we have to decide whether for which income group we have to produce our decided good. I have decided in my first question to produce consumer good. Now, based on my selection of consumer good, I have to decide for which income group I have to produce my good, whether to produce for high income group or for low income group or for middle income group. I have to decide between these three income groups whether who my end consumers are. Which group of people will be the end consumers for my product. Then in factor distribution, I have to decide In factor distribution, I have to decide the distribution of income among factors of production. And when we are saying factors of production, then factors of production are those who helps in production of goods and services. And I have to distribute the income among these factors of production like land, labor, capital, and entrepreneurship. So these are the factors of production, and when I am deciding how the income is to be distributed among land, labor, capital, and entrepreneur, then that means I am taking the decision making under for whom to produce. So we have done three central problems of economy: what to produce, how to produce, and for whom to produce.